Hello and welcome students. Myself Manorama Chaudhary and I am from Nahar Convent School. Today I am here with information about the greatest scientist and the father of genetics. He is the scientist who has the greatest contribution in the field of biology, where he gave the concept of heredity that is considered as the base of genetics. On his concept, the base of genetics was depend on, or we can say that we study genetics by keeping that concept on as a base. So let's know who is the scientist. He is George Mendel, the scientist or the creator, or we can say that the father of genetics. He is the one who gave the concept of hereditary with the help of his laws and his experiments. So today we are going to learn about the experiments performed by Mendel and laws given by Mendel, and also about his early life. So first we talk about his early life. George Mendel was an Moravian born in 1822 in Czechoslovakia on 22nd July. His father was a peasant and his grandfather was a gardener. Mendel was initially taught by local priest, but later on was admitted in an institute of philosophy. But he was not financially well to do. Therefore, in 1843 he terminated his study and went back to the Montessori in Bern. Today, Mendel therefore thought that Montessori was the best place for him to study without worrying about the how did he finance his study. He was made in charge of the garden in the Montessori and named himself George. He became priest in 1847. After 4 years, he went to the University of Vienna, where he studied physics, mathematics, chemistry, and botany. When he returned to the Montessori after completing his studies, he took a position as a teacher at the Natural Science and the Technical School of Brno. The so this is the Mendel's life, that he was we can say that he was devoted to the whole to the studies, and he likes to study so much. Now let's talk about his experiments, what he performed exactly. So first of all, we need to know the basic concept about his study. He formulated the principle of inheritance by carried out the experiments with garden pea. So now, why he chose the garden pea, why he used the only plant of garden pea? There are so many plants available around us. So first we need to reasons why he chose garden pea. That are, they are easy to grow, they produce new generation so quickly, the peas had easily distinguishable characteristics, was also able to strictly control the breeding patterns of his peas. These are the some reasons why he chose pea as the plant for his experiment. But what are the characteristics that he found useful for his experiment are in the pea plant are flower color, that may be purple or white, flower position, axial or terminal, seed color yellow or green, seed shape round or wrinkle, pod shape inflated and constrict, pod color green or yellow, stem height tall or short. These are the several reasons or several characteristics that are find out or useful by the Mendel. But other than this, there are so many things that he has to control. That Mendel, he need to control the types of fertilization. Experiments were done on both self-pollinated and cross-pollinated pea plants. Self-fertilization was ensured by placing a bag over the flower to make sure pollens from the stamen lands on the carpel of the same flower. Cross pollination was ensured by cutting off stems of the flower before pollen was produced, then dusting the carpel of the flower with pollen from another plant. To ensure reliability, Mendel used thousands of plants for each experiment. Mendel worked with true breeding plants, that means self-fertilized plants which produce all offsprings identical to parents. Mendel first crossed the two true breeding plants for one characteristics. For example, tall plants were crossed with short plants. The offspring produced are called F1 or first filial generation. The F1 generations were then self-fertilized or cross-fertilized to produce second F2 generation. These are the some traits, or we can say that the some introduction about the works that Mendel has read done. So now for we conclude the experiments or the detail of experiments that he has performed by some important points, that are the inheritance of each trait is determined by unit of factors that are passed on the decades unchanged. These units are now called genes. Second, an individual inherits one such unit from each parent for each trait. Third, a trait may not show up in an individual but still be passed on to the next generation. These are the conclusions that he concluded after performing his experiment on pea plant. Now let's know about the laws that he has given. That Mendel has formulated three laws of genetics with the experiments of his results. The first law is law of dominance. If we talk about law of dominance, it is the statement that states the law of dominance in a cross of parents that are pure for contrasting traits. Only one of the trait will appear in the next generation. Offspring that are hybrid for a trait will have only the dominant trait in the phenotype. If we know about detail, the while Mendel was crossing his pea plants, he noticed something interesting. When he crossed pure tall plants with pure short plants, all the new plants were tall. Similarly, crossing pure yellow seeds pea plant and pure green seed pea plants produced an F1 generation of all yellow seeded pea plants. The same was true for each pea trait. The type the result genotype were more capital T small t capital T small t capital T small t. So that was observed is that when there is a dominant trait present in genotype, the phenotype is affected by the dominant allele and not the recessive one. This is the genotype of, or we can say that the law of dominance that he has stated, that for according to him, the character that will show in the next generation, or we can say that the daughter generation or F1 generation will always be the dominant character that will show up his characteristics, either it's genetically or it's phenotypically. So this is the first law of Mendel. Now we talk about the second law of Mendel, that is law of segregation. If we talk about his statement, during the formation of gametes, that may be egg or sperm, the two alleles responsible for the trait separate for each other. Alleles for a trait are then recombined at fertilization, producing a genotype for the trait of the offspring. If we talk about it in detail, now we complete when completing a Punnett square, we model this law of segregation every time. When you split the genotype letters and put on one above each column and one in front of each row, you have segregated the alleles for a specific trait. In real life, this happens during a process of cell division called meiosis. Meiosis leads to the production of gametes, which are either egg or sperm. If we can see the if we can see in the diagram the appearance of parent generation, or we can, if we talk about it in easy language, he stated that the that in first generation, the F1 generation, when we get the progeny, we always see that the dominant character always shown itself in the first generation. But when we again cross, or we obtain the progeny for F2 generation, when we cross the F1 generation progeny with any of the parent progeny, we get the results that are mixed each other, or we can say that the characters, sometimes the characters get mixed or reconnected with each other. The progeny, the results of progeny that we get in F2 generation are mixed. Some of them related to their first parent, some of them are copied to their second parent, some of them we get are the combination of their parents. So this is the law that it stated that the formation of genes, or we can say the alleles from the trait we get from the F1 generations, when we cross them or we fertilize them for the next generation, they almost produce the recombining characteristics to the next generation. So this is the law of segregation. Now we talk about the last law or third law of Mendel's, that is law of independent assortment. First of all, we talk about its statement. Allele for different traits are distributed to sex cells of or offsprings independently one of other. When Mendel noticed during his work that the height of the plant and the shape of seeds and the color of the pod had no impact on one another, the different traits seems to be inherent independently. The genotype of parent pea plant will be capital R small r, capital G small g, and that was crossed with the same, then where the capital R denoted as the dominant allele of for round seed, small r denoted for the recessive allele for wrinkled seed, capital G dominant allele for the green pod, and small g recessive allele for yellow pod. This is the traits, or we can say that these are the traits that Mendel's take. Now in this experiment, Mendel took more than one characteristics for his experiment to know more about the genetics, or we can say that the concept of hereditary. So first he tried the two different concepts together by crossing them each other with each cells. So first he forms the first parent generation. After the formation of first parent generation, he crossed the generation with its cells and get the various or different kinds of results. The results he get from a dihybrid cross was always the same, 9 is to 16 boxes. The offspring shows dominant phenotype of for both traits round and green. 3 is to 16 shows dominant phenotype first trait and recessive for second. 3 out of 16 shows recessive phenotype for first trait and dominant for one. Second trait, that is wrinkled and green, and 1 out of 16 shows recessive from both traits, yellow and wrinkled. So you can see that the results, a green pod can have a round or wrinkled seeds, and the same is true of a yellow pod. Different traits do not influence the inheritance of each other, they are inherent independently. In this law, Mendel only want to say that the what are the reasons why he say that it is the law of independent assortment. He just want to say, or he just want to state it, that every trait grow or develop itself independently. There is no effect of other trait on each other that we have seen in these law. We have seen that there are so many different characteristics that are we found after the in the F2 generation when it was crossed with the same parent. So there are so many different characteristics, but they are still each different or variant from each other, so that they can perform their functions separately. Now, if we talk about the results or reasons of Mendel's success, he used pea plant for which was easily grown. Pea produces successively generation rapidly. He selected easily observable characters, strictly controlled the fertilization process. He used mathematics rigorously to analyze his result, used large number of plants. He studied traits that had two easily identified factors. One of the main advantages Mendel had over other scientists was that he excelled in mathematics, which was majorly used in his experiment. He maintained an accurate record of all the observation. That's all was the experiment performed by the Mendel's, and about the success he got from this experiment. So this is the reason why he is known as the father of genetics, as we have learned that he gave the concept of hereditary, that is considered as the basis of genetics. So now I hope you understand or you learn what is the contributions of Mendel's in the genetics and his laws in the genetics. Thank you.